Just giving a minute for everybody to join. Have any of you heard from Zoe? Know if she's gonna be here tonight?
I have not. Did she send in her ranking?
She did, and actually
Oh,
she emailed me as well. I just noticed.
oh.
We'll give her just a minute to see if we can figure out how to get her in. And I did just forward the Craig stores to everybody.
What was the deadline for this cycle? For
Um,
proposals?
we actually
Oh, I see. Look
I
at
have
that.
the schedule, but
January 23rd. Okay, I was just looking to see when you
yeah,
got
yeah.
application was 5 minutes. Okay, I got it.
And for what it's worth, they have pushed the deadline for the full application, so we may actually have time for another hearing if we need to. I have to double check what they pushed it to, but
So right now we have schedule for March 5.
yes.
So I guess the question would be if we,
In progress.
Oh, there we go.
Hi.
Hi.
So
Okay, so we're everybody's here, so let's get started. Um, we didn't have everybody here last time, so we didn't vote for a chair. So I was wondering if we wanted to try to do that right quick first before we go into discussions.
we can try.
I know that there was a nomination put forward last time for Zoe, so I was wondering how she felt about that.
Oh, um, I've given it some thought. It has been an incredibly challenging time at work. So, for us, my original inclination was to say no. But if it means, that we can get this group sort of sorted and, and together, and back to some rhythm, and if there are no alternatives, then I'll take this on.
awesome, that'd be great.
Very
No
kind
pushback,
of you.
no, yes. I kind of miss, some of the processes that we had before because it kept me, some in line. So, if it means that we can get this, then I can give it a try.
Yeah, I mean, we only have a couple more hearings
Experience,
for the
yeah.
application, and then we'll have a couple over the summer, but it's not going to be a huge load at this point, I don't think.
Sure, but I might be needing some training, for, next year, language and things along those lines. But I think
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, does somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to vote for Zoe as chair.
I'll second.
Call? Or can I call?
Yeah, I guess you don't have a chair, so anybody. Everybody in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
Great. There you go.
There you go. Yes, what a process. Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Ellen.
All right. With that being said, I was thinking that we could give each of the organizations who are here like 5-ish minutes to give a little overview of their project, and then we can enter into deliberations. But before that starts, I want to apologize to everybody. I somehow missed getting the Craig's Doors application onto the website, so it has not been reviewed by the committee. So we may end up pushing the vote to a future meeting to make sure that they get fully reviewed and are included in the process. I just forwarded it to all of you, so you can review it when you get a chance, and hopefully someone's here from them to discuss the project. Since I didn't put down an order, we are going to go in the order I have them on my list. So uh, hold on. Laura, did you have a question? Uh, Laura, I unmuted you.
I'm not muted.
Yeah,
Can
we
you?
can hear you. Do you have a question?
I'm sorry. I hit raise hand because in the past that's how we've gone. But if you're
Oh,
going in
okay.
a specific order, that's
Um,
fine too.
okay, just to keep it simple, I think I'm just going to go with the order I have on my list.
That's fine. Yeah, it's just
Okay.
where it used to be.
So we're going to start with the Amherst Survival Center. Um, Raise your hand if you would like to be promoted to panelist.
Zoe, would you like me to keep track of the time for 5 minutes?
That sounds great. Thank you. Bring my box too.
All right, I've got Carlene. Anybody else for Amherst Survival Center? Looks like no.
Hi,
All right.
thank you. Thank you so much for offering us this opportunity to share information about the Amherst Survival Center for your consideration for this year's funding. We're excited to be here. And am I able to share my screen? I did come with a little bit of graphics. Is that okay?
You should be able to.
You should be able to, yes.
That's
Yeah.
great. Okay, see if I can make this work. Okay, terrific. Are you able to see my screen or just me?
We're not able to see
We're
your
not seeing
screen
your
yet.
screen yet.
Okay, let me try again.
Let me take a look at the settings. Just make sure.
Share.
There we go.
How's that?
Perfect.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. Again, we appreciate your time and your consideration of the Amherst Survival Center for CDBG funds this year. Many of you are well acquainted with the Survival Center, so I'll be quick in just reviewing who we are. We are first and foremost a community center that helps meet the needs of area residents with regard to food security, other community services. We affectionately call it a one-stop shop for many in our community, but what we've applied for is for CDBG funding for our food pantry, which is our largest program that serves Amherst residents. So in a nutshell, this is who we are with regard to all of the programs that we do have offered. Our food pantry offers 14 days worth of food to every person in the household. People can access our food pantry by either coming in and doing a full choice shop. They may also receive delivery, or they can pick up their food by curbside, whichever way is most amenable to them and best meets the needs of their families. Now, we service 13 towns, and again, Amherst residents are the largest percentage of the participants of our food pantry. But for those who come to the Survival Center outside of those 13 towns, we have other resources that can help them as well, including a weekly free medical clinic. For those in our community who are experiencing homelessness, we have showers, lockers, and laundry facilities, and we provide assistance with signing up for SNAP or fuel assistance, or many of the other ways in which connecting people to housing, jobs, stuff like that. We also offer a daily fresh, wonderfully delicious hot lunch 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, to either be eaten in-house or also take away. You can eat in-house and take away. And then we have fresh food distribution outside in our fabulous shed where people can access fresh produce, breads, sweets. So nobody will walk away from the Amherst Survival Center on any given day without, hopefully a full stomach and a full bunch of food. So our goal has been and continues to be getting more food to more people. And what I've got here for you is a snapshot of calendar year 2025, where we provided 1.3 million meals. And of the 10,700 plus neighbors, 6,000 of those were Amherst residents. And the little blue graphic on the side lets you see that from the year 2020 to the current 2025 or past year 2025, that need for our food pantry has continued to grow amongst our Amherst residents. We thought that there might be a plateau after the COVID pandemic. However, we have seen that just continue to increase. Of course, as we all know, due to rising costs of food, housing, fuel, just about everything, people are being pinched. And it's a very rational and logical choice for our Amherst residents to access our food pantry to help in any way that they can. So this is the Amherst impact at a glance. 54% of the individuals we serve are Amherst residents. Of the unduplicated individuals in 2025, 56.75% were Amherst residents. And we distributed close to 800,000 pounds of food to our Amherst residents in 2025. We delivered to over 500 households in Amherst, 500 individuals, and then 132 of those identify as seniors, 65 plus, and over 130 of those are children. Providing one's demographic information with regard to race and ethnicity is completely optional for our food pantry, but those who have chosen to share, Amherst residents who have chosen to share that information, 53% identify as BIPOC individuals, 23% as Hispanic or Latino, 22% Caucasian, 26% choose not to identify, and about 2.6% choose other, which can mean mixed race, whatever people feel comfortable doing. We want to make sure that we don't require certain things because we want the access point to food to be as low a threshold as possible so that people feel comfortable every step of the way using our services. One of the biggest impact points that is hard to share without spending more than the 5 minutes we're allotted are the stories that people tell us. And we're able to capture many of these in our annual pantry survey where people are generous enough to give us what the food pantry means to them as an Amherst resident and as a member of our community. And several of these basically indicate really how it meets that need at crucial moments of their life. But in addition, it provides them a sense of relief, a sense of belonging, and that we are an organization that has a welcoming atmosphere that reduces stigma and allows people to get what they need when they need it without fear, and to find the things that are important to them, including a culturally diverse range of foods in ways that are language accessible to them as well.
Thank you very much, Carlene.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Oh, how do I stop sharing?
I think I'm not, okay. I think we're okay, yes. Let's see, Annette. Okay, perfect.
So thank you, Carlene. We are going to move on to Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
Hey everyone.
Hello.
Hello. I'm Susan Nicastro, the director of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Hampshire County. so wonderful to have this opportunity today. So thank you all so much for giving us this chance to share a little bit more about Big Brothers Big Sisters. Is it okay if I share my screen to um
Yeah, yes.
okay, great. Okay, is this first slide visible to everyone?
Yes.
I can see it. Yep.
Oh, great, wonderful. So yeah, so I'm again very happy to have this opportunity to share about Big Brothers Big Sisters with you all tonight. And just including some of we've updated this with some of our more recent photos with our matches who are we're continuing to create and support one-to-one mentoring relationships here in Hampshire County, with the majority being in Amherst. And hold on, let me just get to my next slide here. Um, and yeah, we're so pleased to have the opportunity to request $37,000 from the town of Amherst to expand mentoring opportunities for children and youth in Amherst. And that's fully aligned with our mission to create and support one-to-one mentoring relationships that ignite the power and promise of youth. This funding has been critical to our operations for many years. So this opportunity to again request support from Amherst CDBG is very meaningful to our team and the continuation of our of the work that we're doing. So we provide Amherst children facing adversity, and that can be many different types of adversity that the children we serve face, ages 6 to 18. And the mentoring that we provide, we're looking to provide strong and enduring mentoring relationships that result in a variety of gains for the children that we serve, including higher aspirations, greater self-confidence, improved relationships, avoiding risky behaviors, and educational success. So um, yeah, there's a whole variety of mentoring of benefits that we know mentoring has, both in the short and long term. And our long-term goals include increasing the likelihood that our mentors, that our mentees will become what we would, the varieties of personally and professionally successful adults. And the kind of at the heart of the work that we're doing is believing in the transformational power of mentoring relationships and the many different kinds of benefits that brings to children, including healthy social, emotional, and cognitive development. And yeah, so again, just the mentoring is something that we talk about as an evidence-based strategy. It has a long history of the research showing the benefits that mentoring has, and yeah, so our work is continuing to grow and flourish. I think we're well positioned to meet the goals that we outlined in our proposal. We've already, for this current fiscal year, we've served 84 children, many in our community matches, and then there's also 24 in our site-based matches. And so we have, including, we've expanded our site-based mentoring to now include 3 elementary schools, and one of them is Wildwood Elementary School in Amherst. We always have a significant amount of children and youth on our waiting list, and we're continuing to recruit year-round new Amherst-based volunteers to serve Amherst youth. And part of the way our program works is that we provide match support throughout the time that people are matched with us, through monthly check-ins for the first year of the match, then becomes quarterly check-ins. That every match has their own case manager that's available to provide support of any kind anytime the match needs it. And regardless, case managers are always checking in with our matches just to find out how things are going, to help solve any challenges that may be arising, and to ensure that everyone is having a good experience. We also offer a variety of activities throughout the year. Most of those take place in Amherst, so activities from canoeing to fishing to hiking to our gingerbread party at UMass, and many more things. We continue to have very strong connections throughout with many partners that are Amherst-based. Most significantly, our partnership with UMass Amherst, the community engagement and service learning connection. For over 20 years, we've had a collaboration with UMass where prospective mentors can join a class for academic credit and be matched with a young person in Amherst. So that's one of our very powerful collaborations that's continuing to grow and flourish. And again, that our new Lunch Buddies program at Wildwood is our, is a new expansion of our site-based programming, and that's going to be continuing moving forward into 2026 and beyond.
So thank you very much, Susan.
Oh, yes, you're welcome. Thank you again. And anything I need to do to step aside or?
Nope.
Okay.
That's great.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Appreciate your consideration.
All right, so now we've got family outreach. Looks like one person for family outreach, right?
Francine is here too.
Oh, okay. Let's see. There she is.
I don't know how to put this. Let's see. Where's my? I feel stupid, but I don't know where put my video. Okay. Allow. Ah,
There we go.
hello. Hello.
We see you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for taking this time to hear us. Family Outreach of Amherst has been serving residents of Amherst for 35 years. My name's Laura Reichsman. I'm the director of Family Outreach. Francine Rodriguez is the program manager at Family Outreach. I'll be retiring this coming year. And Francine has been here for more than 20 years and will be transitioning into my position. So she also is the one that provides the services, supervises the caseworkers on this project, which is the housing support, community support program. We've been serving families in lots of ways for a very long time. And I have to share with you that I hate the term now more than ever. Your support is needed now more than ever. Because from the moment that I started as a caseworker at Family Outreach, almost 34 years ago, it's always needed. That support, the support we give on a weekly basis to stabilize families and make sure they get the support they need to raise healthy, happy kids, it's always needed. But I got to tell you, after this many years of being at Family Outreach, the support that CDBG funding gives to Family Outreach and this program is needed now more than ever. I'm finally going to say that term that I don't like to say, because for a couple of reasons. One is poor people have never been attacked like they're being attacked now. Never. Another reason is that if you lose your housing in Amherst, it is highly unlikely you will ever live in Amherst again. It is almost impossible to get an apartment in Amherst now if you're poor, unless you have subsidized housing. If you have subsidized housing and something goes wrong and you lose your housing, the likelihood of ever getting subsidized housing again is very, very small. And so our intervention services of making sure that people don't lose their housing, that their housing doesn't become destabilized, is so important now more than ever. And I don't have any fancy slides, but that would have been one of them if I had. And I think that what's really important is that Francine, because we've been around so long, Francine knows most of the families, many of the families in Amherst who need our help, and they feel very comfortable coming to us. We are housing experts and immigration experts and parenting experts and all the things that can destabilize a family. And that's the other thing I love about FOA. we're not a, a one and done type agency. If you are from Amherst and you're struggling, we will always have your back. You will always have us. So, and that's what often happens. Somebody is in crisis and they call us and we help them with that. But then we talk to them and we talk to them about what else is going on in their lives. And then a caseworker starts working with them on that. And then maybe they're doing really great. We've helped them find a job, and we've helped them, we've advocated for them at school. And so their kid is doing really well and they're making enough money to pay their rent. And then 3 months later, something happens and they call Francine. And I think that's one of the things that's not talked about enough, is sort of the ongoing natural support that an agency is actually giving to a family. If you don't have any family and many friends around, then we become that support system. And that's okay. I mean, I think that there's a sense of, oh, you receive services, you're fixed, now go off and you're going to be just fine. But life is hard if you don't have enough money to survive. And we help that person do that. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions? So do you have a question?
Thank you very much. And go ahead.
Thank you.
And
I'm sorry.
And
Did anyone?
congratulations on your impending retirement.
I know that's
Thank you. And thank goodness Francine Rodriguez is in the building.
All right, if that's all, then we will move on.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if anybody had a question. I thought Zoe was asking.
No, I think I am okay. I've kind of recalled, reading, the proposal, the number of families, you are servicing and all of those. I think I'm okay for the time being. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, I didn't want to just rehash the application. I really wanted to sort of tell you the basic philosophy of what we do.
Correct. Thank you.
Thank you. So next on my list is Center for New Americans. Whoever is here for that, can you raise your hand, please? All right, Lori. Anybody else? All right.
Hello, oops, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why my video is not showing me. I'm not sure how to make myself more visible, so I apologize. I'm not sure what is being shown here. But I'm actually a human, so I'm hoping maybe I can share my screen. I'll do that, and maybe, can you see this?
We are still seeing the same as before.
Oh, goodness. So let me just see how okay. So I
Perfect.
have no idea what this is that my camera
Now
is picking up,
we see the
but I
slide.
am a
Yes.
human
Now we're
here,
seeing-
so I apologize. And I want to apologize for missing the last hearing because it's been so crazy and I had it on my calendar and I missed it. And I apologize because we're so appreciative of the support, and I wouldn't want you ever to think that we weren't. And I also want to say, I mean, I'm showing you here the Massachusetts demographics for the school system because it's the best way to have a sense of how many immigrants we have in the community and how they relate to the state as a whole. But the truth is that Amherst has more students whose first language is not English than the state as a whole in terms of percentages. That's a reliable way, a more reliable way than the census, for reasons I'm sure you understand, for getting a sense of how many immigrants are in the community. But obviously, as you know, what we do is we teach English and we teach digital literacy, and it's our way of helping people connect at a time when they really need support. We also teach civics, and we make it very real by having our legislators in class and then by going to the State House and visiting them there. So we show people how they can raise their voice and how their voice matters. We have career advisors who help people apply for jobs, and we've got lots of employers, UMass Dining Services, Amherst College, lots of home health agencies who are very eager to recruit our students. And we also organize mock job fairs using volunteers to help students prepare for real job fairs. And then we bring them to job fairs that the Career Center organizes. All of these wonderful agencies who are applying for support deserve that support. And as you probably know, we've asked for less than most of our other community partners because we do get funding from the Department of Education, and we understand that all of these other partners, the Survival Center, Family Outreach of Amherst, and the Health Center, they all need the support too because we refer our students to them. When many of the Haitian students moved out of shelter and into Amherst, largely in South Point, we organized a resource fair last year and invited all these wonderful agencies to join us so that we could connect our students to community resources, because that's what we do. We do a lot of digital literacy. We lend tablets, we give hotspots, we enroll people in low-cost internet. We believe that digital literacy is essential to supporting your children in school, to applying for a job, to accessing healthcare. And we also offer on-site childcare for free when our students are in class, because it's one of the barriers that many of our students face. We rely heavily on volunteers. We couldn't do the work without volunteers. And in this really challenging climate, which others have referred to, when the federal government is no longer a partner and the safety net is fraying, we also offer immigration legal services to help our clients to connect. So we thank you for your support. I'm happy to answer any questions, and we hope you'll consider us as part of the spectrum of support that Amherst provides to newcomer families, of which there are many. So again, I have no idea why you're looking at something other than me, but I am here. Any questions?
Any questions? Not at this time, for me, at least.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank
I
you.
apologize for not being
All right.
visible.
We could all see the presentation. That was fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next on my list is the Amherst Mobile Market. Bunch of people here. All right.
Oh, hi, good night, everybody. I am Rosana Salazar. I am the Amherst Mobile Market Board President. Here is Bob Hefner also, that is our treasurer, and Priya Atijolil, that is our bookkeeper, and also our grant resource and support. And yeah, thank you for having us. I will present, if I could share. Okay. Yeah, well, the Amherst Mobile Market is bringing fresh local food to where people live. And who we are a local C 501c3 nonprofit funded in 2020 during the pandemic times. Our mission is bring fresh, local, affordable produce directly to families. And why a mobile market? Because many families has no vehicles or have live with chronic conditions or have mobility challenges, and access is the main barrier. The why the Amherst mobile market model matters is sorry that I need to do this. Okay. The mobile market matters because we are building community through personalized connection and trust. And people return not only because the food is accessible, but because they feel no welcoming and respected, and also because it's a model rooted in dignity and equity. Residents can walk to the market, choose the vegetables that best serve their family, and participate in a marketplace experience that honor their culture, autonomy, and dignity. Also is a space where community is built every week. Each market day creates welcoming space where neighbors gather, families connect, and relationships grow. Also because supporting children as health and well-being is the Amherst Mobile Market intentionally integrates activities and services that nurture whole community wellness. These elements transform the market into a holistic health support space, not just a place to buy food. And a community resource is a community resource, a cultural hub, and a unhealthy future. The Amherst Mobile Market is building a healthier, more equitable Amherst by strengthening community ties, supporting diverse cultural traditions, and improving nutritional well-being, and creating spaces where families feel seen, valued, and connected. This is why the model matters and why its continuation is vital for the community's long-term health and resilience. And now I will pass to Priya. I will stop here because she needs to share another. I need to share another. Sorry.
And I think we have about a minute more.
Yeah. Priya, you could start to talk.
I'll just go over the foundations then. So as Rosanna said, the project overview includes providing affordable, culturally relevant produce distribution to the residents of Amherst, and our beneficiaries 100% include residents of Amherst. We serve low to moderate income residents in 3 high density housing sites. In Amherst, there is a location on Hadley Road, there is a location on University Village, and there's a location within the Colonial Village apartment complex. We currently serve, or we have served in 2025, 70 families. And we require income verification through SNAP, NSLP, the Survival Center, or other sort of documentation. This is especially important due to the emergency allotments for SNAP ending in 2023 in Massachusetts. Therefore, there are reduced monthly benefits for a lot of residents and stricter recertification requirements. I know that because I know a few people who are on SNAP, and their recertification requirements have definitely changed with time. There are administrative backlogs on both the federal and state level that I am sure a lot of us are aware of. And
I think we're just about out of time, Priya.
Okay. So we have, as I had mentioned, we have 70 families, and we issue a $20 per week free share for those families to get free produce. So free fresh fruits and vegetables of their choice. And we will also offer in the coming year dietitian indoors recipe cards and food booklets specifically for people who have certain disabilities and chronic illnesses. Approximately 34% of the undergraduate population of UMass Amherst is disabled through news sources, and it is important for, as somebody who recovered from a chronic illness herself, it is very important for people to have a proper diet, especially when they're dealing with complex illnesses like POTS and MCAS and autoimmune disorders and things like that.
Thank you very much. I think our
Okay.
time is
Thank you
about
very
up.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all.
Okay.
Next on my list is Amherst Community Connections. All right.
Oh, sorry, Walker. I just noticed there was a message from Mayan. Is she still not able to get
No,
access?
I got her back in.
And
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I can see her. Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm back in.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that was taken care of.
All right, Caitlin.
Hello, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to talk a little bit more about our work. My name is Caitlin Connors, and I am the fundraising and grant manager for ACC. Wei Ling was not able to be here tonight, but she says hello to you all. I'm sure you have all met her and know her very well. So Amherst Community Connections serves about 1,200 people in the community, and around 40% of them, almost half of them actually, are from Amherst. So that is our primary demographic. And the main work that we do is surrounding housing instability, economic hardship, and really any barriers to self-sufficiency that our participants might be facing. So we use comprehensive case management to provide housing navigation and application assistance, as well as employment support and various resource coordination. And one of the things that we had been noticing is that first-time renters have a particular barrier that is more significant to getting housing, especially in Amherst, where rent is so high and housing is so scarce. So we wanted to devise a new project to use our almost 16 years of expertise in housing on that population specifically. So first-time renters, we are qualifying as anyone who might be exiting foster care, might be exiting homelessness, students who might be low income, and really anyone exiting prisons or jails that might have quarry concerns, really just anyone who is navigating renting in Amherst for the first time. So for this program, we would be hiring a new part-time position to specialize specifically for this group, since there is that additional need. And part of our case model, which we are really, really proud of, is that we do not just decide like, oh, you're in housing and goodbye. We stay with our participants as long and way after they need us, constantly checking in and making sure, because we often will do outreach and find, oh, we were doing well, but my husband lost his job and now we're behind on rent. And then we have the ability to provide assistance in those areas, whether it's with raft support or utility shutoff or anything like that. So that is what our new project is about. It is a lot of the work that we are currently doing and we have been so successful with, but we really wanted to focus in on this population of need that we've identified in Amherst. So if anyone has any questions, I would love to answer them.
Not at this point, for me.
Well, thank you so much again for this opportunity, and it's so nice to meet you all.
Likewise.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. All right, community legal aid, you can raise your hand. you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jen Derringer. I am a managing attorney at Community Legal Aid. We are new to CDBG Amherst, but we have CDBG grants in other neighboring communities, Pittsfield, Northampton, and Greenfield among them. So I'll just briefly tell you a little bit about our services. We are the civil legal aid provider for low-income folks and elderly in all of the 4 Western Mass counties, as well as Worcester County, so about half the state. And we consider ourselves the legal arm of the social services community. So we work very, very closely with partner agencies, many of whom are here tonight. And we provide a vast array of civil legal services, but I'm going to focus tonight specifically on housing because that's what this proposed project is about. We propose to help Amherst residents with housing in 4 different ways. First, providing eviction defense to make sure that folks are not evicted from their homes by representing them in housing court. Second, helping people who have Section 8 and MRVP housing vouchers who are at risk of losing them. We attend and represent people in administrative hearings. Third is helping people who are either trying to get into emergency family shelter or folks who are already there and are at risk of being removed from shelter for a perceived violation. So those are the 4 categories of assistance that we will provide to Amherst families. We will help 25 families or individuals, so approximately 50 people total in Amherst over the course of the year. And I just want to, I think the best way to illustrate the work we do is to tell stories of clients that we've actually helped. And this really illustrates for us, we're already doing this work. Housing is the biggest need of all of our practice areas, but we do it in 2 different ways. Folks can apply for our services, and then we will help them with evictions, for example, before the case actually enters court. And that's a very high level of service, and it's quite upstream. And then we also have a program called Lawyer for the Day, where we are in eviction court in Hadley on Mondays on eviction day. And we help as many people as we possibly can that day, which is also incredibly successful. We are able to save tenancies that way, but it's obviously not the same amount of service and attention that we can give people who come to us earlier. So if we were to get the CDBG Northampton Amherst money, it would allow us to really focus and prioritize Amherst residents, and they would get much more upstream services. So 2 very quick examples of the 2 different ways we can help people, and you'll be able to see the difference and why the upstream work is better for the tenants. For a case where we were able to help folks in advance, we had an elderly woman who was living in an SRO overseen by Amherst Housing Authority. She had her son living with her, working as her PCA. She had mobility issues and could not move without his help. She was at risk of eviction because it was too small of a unit for him to be there as well. We picked up the case before it went to court. We were able to raise a reasonable accommodation based on her disability that then they were able to make an exception and allow him to live there. So we were able to save the tenancy and prevent the case from even going to housing court, which in and of itself, the eviction process can be very, very stressful for people. So when we can keep them out of court, it's better for everybody. And it also means that the eviction does not go on their record. Contrasting that story is another success story, but one that happened really at the 11th hour, much more downstream. In housing court, somebody was at risk of, they were at the execution stage. And that meant that they got a notice from the sheriff. They were going to be moved out of their house. They were about to be physically evicted from their home. We identified that the eviction was tied to domestic violence. They were a survivor of domestic violence, and the problematic behavior was being caused by the abuser. We were able to raise a legal claim, Violence Against Women Act, and the judge on the spot stopped the eviction, allowed her to get supportive services from Safe Passage and Every Woman Center, and she was able to stay in the unit. But that was a much more stressful process for everybody, particularly the tenant, resident who is really on the cusp of losing her housing. So this funding would allow us to work with people much more in the way that I described for the first situation earlier, and with in a way that might avoid them having to go to eviction court. Thank you so much, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Jen. Right on time.
Great.
All right. Next on my list is the Massachusetts Fair Housing Center. Alvin, anybody else? Okay. Yeah, he's coming.
There we go. Hi, all.
Hi.
Sorry about that.
Oh,
Hi. Let me get the presentation up real quick. Okay. So again, thank you all for having me here today. My name is Alvin Nguyen. I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator for the Massachusetts Fair Housing Center. So what I'm sharing with you is our presentation about our Housing Search Assistance Program. Just so you guys know who we are, the Massachusetts Fair Housing Center, we are in our 37th year of existence in terms of providing legal aid support for anyone experiencing housing discrimination across Western and Central Massachusetts, with legal advocacy, civil rights investigations, and education. We typically serve over 200 clients a year with legal advocacy. About a dozen years ago, one of the biggest parts of feedback that we got was that more help was needed with housing search. That housing search assistance program was created back then, primarily to focus on assisting voucher holders find and maintain affordable and stable housing. This program has already served 200 clients since we've started it. So, who do we serve? All right. Our typical clients are low-income families with female heads of households. 100% of our clients are who've disclosed income are extremely or very low income. 60% of our clients have families. 74% of our clients have families that are with families identify as female. And 49% of our clients also identify as BIPOC as well. So we center promoting racial justice in many ways, including partnering with many of the trusted community organizations that are here with us tonight. And we hope to continue working with them. Even though we know we don't have a site in Amherst, we hope to use trusted spaces, whether it's with one of these partner organizations or in the public space like a library, a shelter, or a community center. All right. Our intentional increase in services in Amherst with this funds, we will aim to offer 31 household members access to preferred housing or to avoid homelessness. So part of this campaign will be making this program more accessible through intentional distribution of materials, advertising, and just spreading the word throughout Amherst with Amherst-based organizations like many of those here tonight. So our proposal, all right. The goal is to intake and evaluate at least 25 requests for housing assistance, provide housing search assistance for at least 25 of those for those cases, resulting in at least 60 household members maintaining or obtaining housing in the area in Amherst, increasing awareness and referrals by meeting with at least 10 community partners, doing the outreach, making sure that there's a known program and that we're a free resource. Leveraging social media, bus campaigns to maximize the community awareness of the program, as well as distributing program info flyers. All right. Are there any questions that you all have for us? All right. Well, I really appreciate the time and thank you for having us.
Great.
It's really humbling to see so many partner organizations here, and I know we're all really, really trying hard to keep everyone going. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Literacy project. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that. This is a whole new setup for me to actually be put in as a panelist. Apologize. Thank you. Hello, I'm Colleen Kaczynski. I'm the executive director at the Literacy Project. Thank you for having me here tonight and for considering our proposal. So the Literacy Project is a high school equivalency prep program. We provide free adult education classes at 3 different levels: beginning reading, high school, high set prep, and then those folks who are at the level that they're really preparing to move in. The goal of the program is for folks to not only get their high school equivalency, but then also we build career and college readiness, skill building, and preparation into the program. So that students are working with their advisors to build education and career plans, and then their advisor works with them in a holistic way, almost like a case manager, to bring down the barriers they need to move towards those, and then we'll work with them to navigate to get to those goals. So, for example, a student might be wanting to go into plumbing. So while the student is working on their high school equivalency, their advisor might be working with them to figure out what is the test that they have to take, what are they going to need for reading, what do they need to get into the program and whatnot. So it's a holistic approach that we take to education, with the goal being, obviously, that folks can move on and have higher paying jobs. And support themselves, but also to be able to have an opportunity to engage equitably in their communities and to be good civic partners in their communities. We have a whole section of on civics within our curriculum as well. For Amherst, the Literacy Project has been in existence since 1984, and we've been in Amherst since 1995. For a while, I've only been at the Literacy Project for 2.5 years, so I'm going to go with what I know for history, which is, I believe at the point that COVID came, the site that they were at, the physical site, had to close, and so we went completely online. And what we learned is that actually works really well for a significant population of Amherst students. Many of them are parents and have young children and are able to sort of balance it a little bit better. But we also knew that there was a need to be back in the community, and we've been working really hard to figure that out. This year, I'm really happy to say that we're offering a high school equivalency prep class at St. Bridget's Parish. And we have 7 or 8 Amherst students, residents, enrolled in that class, which is actually quite a high number. And our experience with some of our other sites throughout Franklin and Hampshire County, where we've done something similar to this, is the first year is slower, but so we're expecting that next year we're going to have even more Amherst residents that we're going to be able to engage with. And so that's really exciting for us as well. So what I also wanted to sort of tell you is our Amherst population, our Amherst residents, are among our most diverse of all of our sites. We operate 5 other sites. And as a result of that, we have, for our Amherst resident population, or I should say our Amherst site, put into place additional learning opportunities for those folks. What we learned is that many of our students had needed help understanding the cultural pieces that are on the HiSET test. They needed more prep work on the history piece of it, right? They've never even heard of, the Revolutionary War and those kinds of things. And so we have put a class, it's additional work. They don't have to come to it for students to learn more about the cultural nuances of taking the HiSET or the GED. And we also have a book club that students are part of. They choose the book, they do the reading, and then their teachers work with them on the mechanics of reading, and they've chosen the interest area. And so that's our program that we have among some of the top 10 highest graduation rates each year in the state, and that's among about 75 other adult basic ed programs. But I could spout lots of statistics, but I think the thing that if I can't get anything else across, I think the biggest impact that we've made in students is to provide them not just with an education, but the confidence that they need to move forward and go forward with their lives. And just very quickly, I'll give you an example. We had
about 30 seconds left.
Okay. One of our Amherst students is an immigrant that fled the Taliban to be here in the United States. And it took her 6 years to get her high school equivalency. And she finally did it. And she is now, she took the Clemente class at Bard College, and she's now preparing to go to community college, which she has an issue with her residency that they have to take care of, and I hope they can take care of it. But she was also our graduation speaker, and that was a big deal because language was a big deal. So it was just it's a great example of sort of the bigger picture. It's more than just getting their education. So thanks.
Thank you.
Do I have to do anything to get off, or will you just kick me out?
I will kick you off.
Okay, great.
Remove you gently.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. All right, and then Craig Stores.
Hello. Thank you, Walker. And I'd like to introduce myself. I am Sherry Carlson. I'm the executive director here at Craig's Doors, and I have with me Caitlin Marriott, who is our director of outreach. Thank you to each one of you committee members and to the town of Amherst for your support of the community and all of the organizations here tonight. It truly takes an interconnected web of diverse programs and services to meet the growing needs of the most vulnerable within our community. Established in 2011, Craig's Doors is a human services organization that provides vulnerable and unhoused members of our community with emergency shelter, food, and safety, as well as access to the resources they need to achieve physical, mental, emotional, and social well-being. Our continuum of services and programs includes our low threshold housing program, which is permanent supportive housing and serves 15 adults here in Amherst. We also have an emergency shelter program, which currently serves 73 adults, 35 of which are here in Amherst. And that program totaled 207 individuals served in calendar year 2025, and approximately 25,000 bed nights for those individuals, over 10,000 of which were here in Amherst itself. In the winter, on our most frigid nights, we also have our emergency hotel stay program. The Resource Center is our other program, which serves anyone who walks in the doors and primarily serves our unsheltered neighbors here in Amherst. It is right here in Amherst. And in calendar year 2025, we had 6,153 visits at the Resource Center, which is a trailer behind in the parking lot of the Baptist Church. And we served 552 unique individuals at the Resource Center in 2025, providing over 2,000 showers, over 1,600 meals, and approximately 850 case management appointments. And most importantly, we provide a safe and warm place in the winter, cool in the summer, to belong, for our unsheltered neighbors to learn about services and build trust, and for us to support them in order to access those services. We also serve as a mailing address for many, which is oftentimes a necessary first thing in order to connect with other services and benefits. As part of what we do at the Resource Center, survival gear is given out. Unfortunately, there are many of our unsheltered neighbors who, even in the most frigid of nights, are sleeping outdoors. So literally sleeping bags and tents and additional warming blankets to allow people to safely be outside in the frigid night is part of what our team at the Resource Center does. This CDBG grant will allow us to stabilize and expand our Resource Center staff in order to serve the growing demand in a safe and secure way. We've seen a 40% increase in demand and expect to serve approximately 700 individuals at the Resource Center in 2026. And just to give a little bit of information about those that we serve, over 50% of our visitors who walk into the Resource Center are what are categorized as the highest vulnerability individuals. And that is people who are in very high risk housing situations, including those living outside with or without a tent, living in a vehicle, living in some other place that is not meant for habitation, or in an emergency shelter, but in a conditional bed, meaning that they do not necessarily have a spot to sleep tonight. They were in one conditionally the night before. So that's 50% of the people walking in and being served at our Resource Center right here in Amherst. And also, about 10% of those individuals walking into the Resource Center are over the age of 60. So again, the most vulnerable of individuals in the town of Amherst, individual adults. Caitlin, did you want to add a few things before we run out of our 5 minutes?
I think you did a good job of kind of giving the basics. I don't want to take up too much time, but I do just want to say that we have seen a really serious increase in need at the Resource Center. We're noticing that we are seeing many more folks on a daily basis. We used to see maybe 15 people a day, and now we're seeing 30 or 40 people every day at the Resource Center. And like Sherry said, it's a single wide trailer, and it receives a lot of traffic. So we are noticing that our capacity is kind of dwindling as the need is rising, which is sort of what we're looking for with this grant, is to help increase our capacity so that we're able to better serve the need that we're seeing in the Amherst community with the folks that we serve.
Great. Thank you very much, Sherry and Caitlin.
Thank you. All right, that is all of the applications. And I just looked at the updated deadline for the application, and it looks like we could have another hearing in March so that we could have discussion tonight, actually vote on recommendations the next time, and have another one for the final, like the public feedback and the final list once the town manager has reviewed the recommendations. So if you don't feel like you're ready to make a decision tonight, I think that's going to be fine.
Was there anyone from the town of Amherst, or is that there's no one, or do you want to speak on that
I
at
mean,
all?
that's me. I'm happy to answer questions. I don't think I need to go over the project since we've had this project come before you in previous years. Unless Mirel or Mayan, you have questions since this is your first time seeing it.
I think my only question on that, and I don't see it in the responses, was just, is there another phase after this phase? This is phase 3, I think. Is there a phase 4?
Yeah, this seems to be the never-ending project. So we've stopped saying we know for sure how many phases there are going to be. But I do not think we are going to get it done in this round either.
Okay.
The prices just keep going up and we get less done
Oh,
per chunk of money each time.
wow. Okay.
I feel that is almost like an answer, to Suzanne's, question.
Yep.
I think again, when I think of, the awards that we are giving, I always look at the number of Amherst residents, that it will have an impact. So I'm finding, that I'm using the logic again and again, and if so and wondering, if I should be looking at any other perspectives, looking at the priority, whether they fit, the categories, but definitely the number, so I will definitely, want to hear, if there is another way of looking at them, that can give us a little bit more of a fresh perspective. That way I will not be voting the same every year. It feels like I'm kind of using the same.
I mean, I guess how like I was thinking about it. Obviously I completely agree. I think thinking about like the number of people, but I also think thinking about like which projects are like the most essential for like, basic needs and basic quality of life. So for me, I was thinking with things like the mobile market or like the survival center, like I feel like they're providing like really like super essential things that are gonna cause the deterioration of the quality of life of like low income residents the most if they don't have access to those types of things. Um, and I think that, all of the projects are offering like services that are very necessary, but I think in terms of like just because we don't have all the money in the world, I feel like for me to choose, like I was just trying to think of like what is the most essential and in addition to what you were saying, which will provide like the highest net benefit for the most amount of citizens in the town. So yeah.
Thank you.
Maybe just to add what Mayan said, one of the things that I always struggle with is that um, there may be a hierarchy of needs on the one hand, but then we also have um, kind of competing goals or communities that these organizations are serving. So, for example, we have a number of organizations that are focused on housing,
Yeah.
a number focused on nutrition and food, but then we also have the kind of adult, learning and
Literacy, yeah.
literacy and citizenship, and we also have the youth uh, services. And so one of the things that we've struggled with in the past is how much of a balance
Mhm.
to have among those. Um, and even though housing or, and or food might seem like the highest priority, do we want to give, you know, do we want to fund 5 projects that are all doing the same thing?
Mhm.
So that's another, I think, thing that we struggle with often every year.
And we do have the ability to not necessarily fund the entire, correct, or fund a portion of their asking. So that's another thought, consideration. So um, without rating Craig's door, because I think, we got it, as we were speaking. Um, do we want to kind of table, our final decisions for the next meeting, or I can go either way.
Yeah, since the one organization didn't get included on the website and we hadn't had a chance to look at it yet, I feel like it would not be fair to proceed that much further. Um,
It also has I mean, it's the highest request that we got. It's $76,000. It's even higher than the Survival Center's request.
Correct.
I would want to be pretty thorough about looking at that. And it's a big population. I mean, they have 550 in their resource center, 30 a day. It's big numbers.
I do like the way that, Suzanne is thinking and looking at this. I'm comfortable, with moving this, in the next meeting. When should we be submitting the ratings, for this additional one to Walker?
so do we have another meeting?
Next meeting is the 5th, March 5th. So at some point before that.
Okay. Is everyone okay with that? And we can think through the process. I mean, the change in federal landscape is really, bringing, really, I think, we need to think through this. We felt, last year we were, seeing the impact, but we're really seeing the impact now more than any other time.
I think you're right, Zoe. And one of the things that I've noticed now is that I'm not sure we've ever had 10 organizations submit proposals, and the total, if I did this right on my spreadsheet, is over 400,000. And we only have the ability to choose 5 social service activities for a total of 175,000.
Yeah.
So even if we take the average of 40,000 per activity and we choose 5, that's still over 200,000. And we only have 175. So it's a difficult process to whittle it down to 5, and then of those 5, allocate the scarce funding. So yeah, it's a tough challenge.
And given that we're not voting today, can we look at the new, and I'm asking this question to Walker, can we relook at our ratings and kind of just put it in a whole different perspective, and if we make any changes, we can resubmit them to you?
Yeah. If you want to resubmit a whole new ranking sheet, that's fine.
Okay. I am comfortable. Oh, yes.
Ryan?
I'm so sorry. Walker, I just wanted to ask you for me, like, because you couldn't get access to mine. I was just like wondering what the issue, like why you just to for the future so that you can get access next time.
It's difficult for me to get access to Google Documents. And if the permissions are correct, sometimes I can, but it's usually easier to download it and send it as an attachment for me because of the security settings on the town side.
Yeah. No worries. I'll send it as a PDF next time.
Thanks.
But Walker, you really just need our average per, the total.
True. Yeah. You don't have to send me the whole sheet if you'd rather just send me the average for each organization in an email. That's simpler and easier for me, certainly. Although I do keep them on file if they get sent to me.
Just for Mayan's benefit, one of the things that we learned a few years ago in this process, when we do the sheet and rank all the elements like 1 through 4, not everyone has the same scale. So if we just go by the numbers, it's hard to compare. But then if everyone uses their own scale and comes up with their list of, in this case, 1 through 10, then it's easier to, compare. And one thing that I don't think Walker did this time, but I think we've had in the past sometimes is it's anonymous, but there will be whatever, 4 or 5 different rankings provided so we can see maybe how people ranked 1 through 10. We don't know who did it necessarily, but we can kind of see how the other committee members viewed each one.
Yeah, and I can do that if you're interested. Marielle?
That'd be great.
Yeah, I think it would be great to see like even an anonymous other rankings just so that I, as like a first time ranker, know like
Mhm.
generally like how we're grading on like completion and certain aspects so I could compare and contrast like my ratings and the scale that I'm holding up. Like not that I would change my scores, but just to know like where the mind is. And also because a lot of these organizations have submitted in previous years how we're allocating this year.
Yeah, I'll send a few anonymized ones around.
And just for Morel and Mayan's sake, in case you're not aware or you didn't look at the past, so we rarely would fund the full ask of a project. So when we, that's one of the hard decisions and conversations that we have is how to come up with, what that formula might be for how we fund those that we approve based on what they requested and based on where they ended up in the overall rankings. So it is helpful to have kind of the overall from everybody. So if you need that ahead of time, Walker, we could, if we're meeting on the 5th, we could backdate it a few days so you have some time.
Yeah, earlier that week would be good.
Okay.
And that way I can get it out to all of you right before the meeting too. Marielle?
Does the capital proposal get the same, like, thinking that the social services one? Because I was looking previous years, and because it's in a phase of project, does it get partial funding or is it like fully just to get the construction done?
So this year it doesn't really need to be ranked because it's the only capital.
It's the only
Okay.
If
So
we had more
that's
than
from a
one,
separate, that's from a
yeah.
separate fund.
Yeah, if we had more than
Okay,
one,
because I
then
was like, the number
yeah.
looked the same on the spreadsheet, so I wasn't sure like if that was coming out of the total or if that was just for the capital proposals.
Yeah, that's the capital budget.
Okay.
Two separate
Thank
budgets. Mhm.
Yeah, it is uncompetitive this year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
uncompetitive. That's a good way. Yeah. So I think we're all in agreement, that we are going to do this, in the next meeting, and that we're going to get our scores to Walker. Great.
And also at the next meeting, we'll have a hearing. We proposed an amendment for the 25 grant, the one that was recently awarded and that we were about to start work on. The state did not approve the two planning projects that we had proposed.
Okay.
So that funds, we're proposing to move it to the capital project, which you can't move it to the social service projects. So we're moving it to the capital project and expanding the scope of that. As you may recall, it was pedestrian improvements near Kendrick Park.
Yep.
When they got approved. So we're expanding the scope to include some improvements to the park itself. And we are going to have a hearing on that on the 5th, and then we will see if the state will approve the amendment.
That's great.
Okay. But it should be, since we already heard from all the social service organizations tonight, then we won't need to repeat that next time then.
Yes.
So it should be quicker.
Mm-hmm.
But that was helpful to hear from them, and there were some newer organizations that we haven't seen before.
That's true. Yes. That's very nice to see. Great.
Hard.
Do we need a motion to adjourn?
Mira?
When is the meeting after March 5th? Like, are we adding it onto the schedule or is it still following the schedule online?
Yes, we're going to have to add it on because I didn't have any other meetings after March 5th online. It could be the 19th of March, a month from now, or it could be the 26th of March. Those are the two options. I guess I'd prefer the 19th just to give me a little more time to work on the full application if that works for all of you. That's 2 weeks after the previous meeting.
So the 5th will be to review the rankings for this round, and then a subsequent meeting would be to review the amendment to the 25.
So the next meeting on the 5th will be continuing to discuss and making your recommendations for the proposals and also the amendment.
Okay.
And then the meeting on the 19th would be public feedback on the recommendations specifically and the rankings, and also I pass it on to the town manager and like people in town to provide feedback as well. And then if anything needs to be changed on the 19th, that's when you do it.
Okay.
Mayan?
Wait, so this is the 19th of March?
We will have a meeting on the 5th, and then we'll have another meeting on the 19th, if that works for everybody, of March.
Would it be at all possible? Just the 19th is my spring break, and I don't
Mm.
think I'm gonna be home. I think I'm gonna be like, I might be out of the country. So, yeah, but I could make it work because I'll probably be like in the same, because I was just planning on going to Canada, so I'll probably be in the same time zone. Worst case scenario.
Yeah, the other option is to push it to the 26th if that's easier for everybody.
I can do both days, so it doesn't matter to me. Yep.
I would prefer the 19th. I think I have work on the 26th. But
If the 19th works better for everyone, I can definitely make it work. I just like, yeah.
Okay. All right, well, hearing nothing else, let's plan for the 19th for now.
Okay.
And if something comes up, let me know. I won't have to notice it quite yet, so
Okay.
we got a little bit of time.
Okay.
if I don't get scheduled, the 26th is fine.
Okay,
But
I do need to know before the 5th because I need
okay.
at least 2 weeks to
Okay.
notice the meeting, so.
Okay.
Okay,
Great.
okay. Anything else?
I'm okay.
All right, I think we can adjourn then.
Great. Thank you.
Well, yep,
On the 5th then.
yep, and I'll see you on the
Yep.
5th.
Fantastic. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Nice to see you all. Have a good night.
Have a good one.
Yeah.